to use if you don't want to relearn anything.
I think most sprites actually don't change the shadow, and the only ones that really do are the ones like Purple Chest or Zelda, because those obscure the shadow. And shadow is all pretty nice because you can always line it up with the floor texture. It looks like we're off. Unless BGT started early, but seeing as Goggles is starting, I don't think so.
Nice treasure Uncle left us here.
Yeah, don't have to worry about bottle vendor money this seed.
So Fiso should sync up the string in a moment.
Okay, in the meantime, we're going to be finding out what our runners are going to have to fight through escape with.
You know, after all these commentary, I have yet to see a finesse sword, so I want to see that today.
I actually think I remember hearing from one of the devs that the odds of sword at Uncle are actually a decent bit less than anything else.
Huh. Looks like we are bombing the castle today.
Yeah. Oh, nice. So we're not going to need to worry about bomb farming this seed. But those bombs, if no more turn up, they'll be pretty much gone after Kakariko.
Yeah, and they are not exactly easy to use in escape as well. So let's see how the players do here.
Yeah, there are some strategies that are as simple as just placing bombs for the blue guard rooms, and you can always kamikaze the green guard room, but if the runners aren't familiar with those tactics, we might see some trouble. So it'll be very interesting to see what strategies are used here. So Goggles, risking a death here. He was going for bomb toss in place, didn't quite work. BGT, abusing the guard AI a little more, gets it done. The strategy I like for that first is just going to the left of the chest, dropping a bomb below it, waiting a bit, dropping a bomb to the left of it, and it just deals with the guard.
I prefer to have the guard's attention and put a bomb right on the chest and staring across the guard between with it, and it will hit, but it takes a little more time.
Yeah, that's not a bad strategy. I used to do that for the second blue guard because the statues make that lineup so much easier. So, green guard strategies. Ooh, 2 hearts damage by a BGT here. This can be a little bit scary with only 3 hearts. But we are getting to see that statue strategy for the second blue guard.
Yeah, better safe than sorry here.
And it's very similar strategy from Goggles for that room.
I think there's a checkpoint right after you got a princess, so you can die after that, right?
Yes, you can. But there's also a heart under each of the 3 pots in the cell, so since most runners will kill the ball and chain guard with pots, absolutely no reason not to take the death here. So green guard RNG for BGT was not the nicest. He handled it pretty well. And we'll see what Zelda has in her chest. She had a key. Why didn't she just unlock the door herself?
Well, that door requires a big key.
So, simple backtrack through escape. Not really anything to worry about here. There hasn't been any progression yet, so it's not uncommon to see some degree of progression in the escape. It's also not too uncommon to have to delay until Kakariko, or even further to find your progression.
Yeah.
So one interesting thing that the runners could do here, because they have plenty of bombs, would be after Sanctuary, they could just save and quit and do the South Shore stuff and hope to find a bottle or flute in order to essentially have a more efficient Kakariko trip.
That's really interesting.
Yeah, it's not like going straight to Kakariko is so ingrained for most runners that I don't know if we'll see it, but if they're thinking ahead, it's not a bad tactic. Strategy credit of Amazing Empress. He's got crazy good routes.
Yep. I think they at least need 2 bumps here in escape, so that'd be 6 left for Bent and 4 left for Goggles if they didn't find any more.
Yeah, 6 is a little less than you'd probably like for trying to do mini Moldorm, but I think I'd still go for it in this position, especially if a weapon turns up.
Yeah, especially if a weapon turns up.
Ten arrows. If only you could stab with the arrows.
Why can't you?
Yeah, imagine how effective stabbing Vitreous would be with silver arrows, even without the bow. Link is just not a pragmatist at all.
Uh-oh, missing the red half a
He's
heart
got
left.
1 hit left from anything.
Luck call on the red RNG here. It walked right into the bomb.
So it might. So he got the key, which means he doesn't have to worry about that in the future. But if he gets bumped by any of the rats in this room, that would have been a death.
Lucky heart drop.
Also having a little bit of trouble. Flippers and a sword. So could that scream South Shore any more than it just did?
I think it can't.
Because now you get to combo it with, after Ice Rod, you get to go for Hobo, you get to go for Waterfall Fairy, you get to check Zora Ledge. If there's more rupees at any point along the way, you get to go for King Zora as well. In fact, Zora money is pretty much the only argument for not going there, I'd think. Unfortunately, flippers lock out the easiest Houlihan method.
Yeah, but on the other hand, on the first part is just particularly on autopilot, so I doubt either player will think about this.
Yeah. Both runners make it through the escape without a death, so kudos to them. Bomb escape on 3 hearts, a little bit spooky. BGT showing his game knowledge by finding a fairy under a bush. There are certain bushes in the game that have a 1 in 8 chance of having a fairy under them.
Yeah, I think in one version those are also randomized, but they were changed back because no one would use them if they are randomized.
Yeah, BGT elects to go straight for Kakariko, while Goggles does the more typical Lost Woods and probably Lumberjack check. So blue rupees as the tier 2 pull. Not exactly great for farming, but something to keep in mind. In the meantime, I saw the Moon Pearl over there.
Yep, that's Moon Pearl, and Lumberjack Tree has Power Glove.
So, Sankard's already turned up, but that glove, that is huge knowledge for Goggles. BGT he doesn't know that. And when do you check Lumberjack at this point?
Well, usually I check it with Bunkra after the boots, so I don't know then.
Well, there's the boots! And the half magic! Wow, this is another loaded early game.
Well then, I don't know. I really don't know what to say.
Yeah, the one good thing I think about seeing the Power Glove on Lumberjack Cave is that it means that the lamp cannot be locked behind mitts, which means it has to be at least relatively early.
And we just had hook shot from the Lost Woods drop.
Wow, so BGT missing out on boots, hook shot, and Power Glove knowledge. That's gonna hurt. Like, especially because Power Glove is part of the Dark World Access Kit. BGT might elect to just full clear everything while searching for Dark World access, while Goggles could just elect to kill Aghanim early. Because he knows the glove is right there.
And he can get a right after Aghanim with Lost Boots and Hookshot to hook right back. Oh wait, that's light one.
So, BGT gonna find just 20 rupees at the library. Probably good for him that it's not required, because the boots were available easily, and he just didn't go to Lost Woods. Oh!
There's
the hammer. So the worst thing for BGT right now would be the other glove turning up, because that's Dark World access, and if you got the whole Dark World to explore, when do you check Lumberjack?
I really don't know. And he somehow has not checked Lost Woods either. So I don't know when he's going to check both if he has Dark World access.
Well, the fact that he skipped Lost Woods does mean he has something to combo Lumberjack check with, but I don't know if that's going to happen. Anyway, Goggles is going to clear out Kakariko, get his early start. BGT looked like he was planning on walking over to South Shore and then realized, wait, I kind of left stuff behind, and I can check Magic Bat with that hammer.
I wonder if he'll go back to Lost Woods after this.
I hope he does, for his sake. So, plenty of health showing up early, which is always a welcome sight, unless you really like Death Warping.
Maybe he was just on too much of an auto pedal and then forget blinks out, and while he realized he's already in Kakariko, I'm really not sure.
Yeah, save and quit out of Magic Bat. Yeah, Goggles also going to be checking race game before going for the item. That's one of those decisions that comes down to personal preference. I will always run the race itself and quit out if I don't care for the item, just because the item's available. You don't go out of your way for a safety. Like, you probably wouldn't go back and do the race for Blue Mail, but if you're already doing it, yeah, you'd grab that.
I would consider checking it if I'm running short on bombs and I don't have boots, but if I do have boots, I will run it as well.
Yeah, but there's the bomb shop directly east of Link's house on the shore, so even being low on bombs I don't think has too much of an impact unless you're low on bombs and rupees.
And meanwhile, while we're talking, Bent secured his Zora font from the dam.
Yeah. Goggles elects not to check Magic Bat. He could easily have just not realized it's open, or be planning on comboing that with Sick Kid or Flute activation. So here we are, 13 minutes in, and there's 10 hearts. I thought the last seed we commentated was ridiculous with its health, but this is something else.
Unless he doesn't have this much progression.
Yeah, but Goggles is going to be getting his 10s pretty soon, too.
Yeah.
Well, no, he'll be at 9 because he didn't do Magic Bat. And Goggles showing us the one-trip dam using Hookshot.
Yep. It's not that easy to pull off as it looks.
Yeah, it's really like pretty much everybody will do it with Mirror, but I don't think most people are too familiar with the Hookshot method, but it is possible. BGT unfortunately took a death in Mini Moldorm Cave. He's electing to go back and do it again. So that lack of boots is going to slow this down even more. So, and Goggles, again, showing the utility of the hook shot. It one-shots these things. Just bombs and money.
So where do you think we're going to see the lamp?
Let's see it from Zora.
Yeah, sounds like
Sluggy
it.
lamp.
Will that even work?
I mean, it does.
Yeah.
And Goggles also checking the stun prize, as was pointed out. It's small magic, which, given the fact that half magic was so early, doesn't really have much of an impact, but in a pinch, it can definitely help in something like Turtle Rock. Or even the upstairs GT, knowing that magic available, you can spam it just a little bit more.
Nothing Ice Rock Cave. I think we're towards Zora and Hobo right now.
Yeah. So one strategy that is a bit lesser known, I swear I mentioned this yesterday as well, is that you can water walk out of Ice Rod, even if you have flippers, and then dash on the water, and it's just faster for this check.
Oh, I know it's a kind of fake flipper variance. I don't know. I didn't know it worked with flipper as well. That's interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty helpful for this water walking is such a cool trick. So BGT gonna be doing his flippers checks from Link's House Save and Quit, which I like that route decision. If you're not gonna water walk, I think it's faster than just quitting back or walking back from Ice Rod Cave. Alright, so you water walk by dashing near a hole and then jumping from a south ledge onto water. It has to specifically be a south ledge. Coming out of Ice Rod Cave, if you walk over near the pit and then dash straight down and let the dash carry you out of the room, you've armed water walk. It is as easy as it sounds. So while we were explaining that, Heart Piece on Hylia Island, and nothing of value from Hobo either. So Goggles gonna check the Zora area, and it looks like BGT is going to be getting his boots and hook shot, and hopefully his Power Glove knowledge as well.
Looks like nothing Waterfall of Wishing. We're on to Zora's domain.
And was that a blue rupee on the ledge? Yes, BGT, yes! Sees that Power Glove in all its glory. Knows he's gonna have to beat Aghanim. And Zora just tosses some arrows, so...
So I think we're down to the two old men, Sahasra and Agina.
Yeah. Could be in Eastern Palace itself as well. Yeah. I'm sure BG... Oh, map check. Green Pendant Eastern, Blue Pendant Hera, Crystal 4 for Desert, I believe.
Yep, that's what I saw too.
That was a very quick map check. Yeah, so BGT, I'm sure he's happy to see those items, but I'm sure he wishes he went there sooner. Oh, Bonk Rocks. Bonk Rocks is open.
Oh yeah, Bunker is open.
It looks like
yeah.
BGT is electing to go straight there, while Goggles is going for the denser Sahasrara play.
Yep.
Well, there's the first glove, so That's Dark World access.
So lamp now can be in Dark World, just not mid-locked. That's a lot of locations.
That's a huge amount of knowledge to have, and it's good that both runners know that. Well, BGT doesn't know that yet, but he'll be finding out shortly.
So goggles for go eastern reasonable because he just got Dark World access. He wants to do that first because it's more items there in the Dark World.
Yeah, especially because coming from the south, you can just take the Power Glove shortcuts to get into Eastern quicker. It's just a pendant, though it is green pendant, and, well, Thieves Town is fully clearable, but he's electing to sequence break his way to Death Mountain for a lot of items.
And Bent making a mistake. If you want to go to Zora from the Witch's Hut, you need Power Glove for that. And so he needs to take the Hylia Lake portal if you want to access Zora.
And then he's probably going to go to Sahasrahla, find that glove, and be kicking himself again. So Goggles is doing the Dark Room without even a sword out, so we can't really see what he's doing, though. It looks like he made it totally fine. Fun fact, speed with the old man following you is not actually slowed down if you have your sword out. It's exactly the same speed between sword out and no sword.
And another fun fact that you don't go faster if you dash with the old man, you just dash at your typical escort speed.
Yeah, every single speed with the old man is the same. Old man gets a very clutch heart for Goggles as he got completely wrecked by some boulders and rocks. They just do that sometimes.
So it's going up to check the spectral rock cave and then she'll go down and hook shot to the right side.
Yeah, and Cane of Samaria on Spectacle Rock. And a red potion inside it, so another loaded location. Especially because that's first bottle.
Yep, and it's his first bottle. We don't know if that's the first bottle in Logic, but it's his first bottle, so that counts for something.
Yeah. Yeah, it is worth noting, as mentioned, that everything being found on Death Mountain here is a sequence break. Sequence breaking a bottle is nothing, really, but sequence breaking Samaria, if the mirror turns up on East Death Mountain, is, again, just a huge boon to the potential layout of the seed.
The bigger question is are they sequence breaking the lamp or sequence breaking the flute?
Or both. They could both just be sitting in Eastern Palace.
Oh yeah, totally.
So we'll see if BGT decides to go into Eastern. Looks like that's probably his plan. Yeah, he's definitely going into Eastern. So we'll see if the play to skip it pays off, or if going in is just bait. So the one thing I'm surprised about is that neither runner elected to kind of rush Thieves Town. It's pretty good odds that it's a crystal, and you'd obviously be able to check, and it's fully clearable right now. The fighter sword doesn't do less damage either. Oh yeah, BGT never did a map check, so he just walks straight into Pendant Eastern.
And then here's the pendant music and it immediately pops out and checks the map.
That is a long map check. It's like, did I really just see that? Anyway, Goggles found Small Shield, Shovel, Boomerang, Master Sword in Paradox Cave. And then we didn't get to see what that last item was, but we'll be keeping an eye out on the next menu switch.
I think that looks like another 20, if I'm not mistaken.
On the rupee count? Okay. So Goggles fills the shortcut bomb jump to get out of Paradox a little quicker. Pretty nice for if you want to climb up the mountain to check what's on the floating island and what's in Spiral Cave. So, compass in the map chest. Kind of want to see map in the compass chest now, just because it would be funny. Yeah, all we need now is the lamp, and those Titan mitts become accessible.
Yes.
So again, that sword is a sequence break, that shovel is a sequence break.
But if you find the lamp, both are back in logic.
Yep.
So,
but if you
found the lamp up here, then it's not. But who cares by then?
Yeah. Orange juice nut. That's a good question. You can jump into Randomizer with no vanilla experience, I would say, if you've seen a decent amount of races, because you can learn a lot just by watching. I would still recommend playing through it at least once, just so you know how to do the gist of things, such as slashing the branches in Skull Woods. So BGT gonna be sequence breaking the big key chest in Eastern. Goggles found nothing in Spiral Cave and spends his last bomb for some reason. He's probably gonna buy more. Is he thinking it's time to agate him?
He forgot he needs a lamp.
Or he might just be thinking, yeah, I can do Aghanim in the dark.
What? No sane people think that.
I would think that. I can do it. Like, I had a planned out that I did, where I went and did Aghanim in the dark with less equipment than this.
Well, I think you're practicing.
It didn't pay off, but it was set up so it looked like it would. It didn't, but I did it.
Kudos. I cannot imagine myself doing that.
So just rupees from the big chest in Eastern. So Eastern was a total bust, and I missed the item count. I think there's an item on Armos, and realized I don't have the lamp, I don't have the bow, and Goggles also realizes he doesn't have something he thought he had.
Yep.
Yeah, Dark Aghanim is pretty rarely useful, but when it is, it's almost always a huge time save, so it's worth knowing, and it's nice to be able to say, oh, I can do any dark room, as opposed to, oh, I can do every practical dark room, because Aghanim can be practical. So Goggles, check, Magic, and Sick Kid with his bottle from Death Mountain. And BGT, gonna be heading to the Dark World. Almost. No! Almost goes the Mitch route. Twice. I don't think I saw anything useful on Sick Kid.
And neither do I. There are apples in this game?
Yeah, if you bonk some trees, apples, tomatoes, whatever they are, pop out. And fun fact about bonking stuff, if you bonk that tree above BGT right now, a full magic pops out.
Let's see what village of Outcast and Thiefstown have in store for us today.
Well, there's his Master Sword. So when
And
Goggles gets there, which looks like he's on his way there right now, he'll be getting his Tempered Sword.
very good to have.
Yeah, the difference between the Master Sword and the Tempered Sword is huge. You go from two-shotting most enemies in the Dark World to one-shotting most enemies. And if you can just kill them all by dashing through them without having to worry about where they go, it's quite nice.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, it makes bosses way easier.
Bond is an exception, but Bond is the same with whatever sword, so that I don't think that
Yeah,
counts.
Master Sword still does make it easier because sword beams and because the range of the Master Sword is a little longer than the range of the Fighter Sword.
Oh yeah, the range.
There are
That counts
plenty
also.
of heart pots on the way back from Blind Cell, and even one right next to the fight itself. So you can totally get up to full health for some sword beams without trouble. And map check, Skullwoods, Ice Palace being 5 and 6, and Thieves Town, that last pendant.
Of
So
course it
doing
is.
Pendant Thieves, seeing as it's fully clearable right now, it's not a bad decision, but you could also easily decide to put it off. It's 4 items, so I don't think I would put it off here. But I also can't fault Goggles for wanting to do other things first.
We'll see how it pays off. He might come back after a Bumble Hut. We don't know yet. Oh yeah, he steal all the bombs. I remember there's a shop in this village of outcasts. You need hammer to access it, and he has it.
I don't actually know what's in that shop. I just know it is a shop from the couple times I've played Retro.
Looks like he's forgoing Thieves Town.
Yeah. Gonna be checking Digging Game. Stumpy can't mirror to check the dig spot, unfortunately. It's probably gonna work its way over to Hype Cave and probably even Pyramid and Catfish if nothing turns up.
Sounds like a plan. So Bento looks like he's continuing on, finding nothing useful in the first floor.
Yeah, I think there was one item. There had to be at least one. There's only 4 dungeon items here.
Well,
Nice key dash.
You can have big key, small key, map and compass in the first floor. I've had that.
Yeah. But seeing as he didn't find the small key, it was at worst map, compass, big key. BGT got his Master Sword from Chest Game. Goggles got a Tempered Sword from there. Goggles' other sword was from a Death Mountain sequence break, which paid off pretty nicely with that sword. Oh, there's Blue Mail. That's some pretty nice safety.
Nothing as of yet in Thieves Town. We are going to the cell. And Goggle is, as you is detailed, going to Hype Cave. Let's see how hype today's Hype Cave is. Oh wait, he ran out of bombs again. You need 2 bombs for Hype Cave.
There is the bomb shop direct, like 1 screen north of there. We'll see if he realizes that that's a thing. But yeah, if you don't get many capacity upgrades or there aren't a lot of bomb drops, it's very easy to run out if you're not paying attention. Yeah, he's just gonna buy it.
Good choice.
Yeah, I think that's 30 bombs for 100 rupees.
That sounds about right, but he can only carry 15 of those.
I mean, 15 for 100 isn't a bad deal. I mean, it's worse than 10 for 50, but it's still not a bad deal.
Yeah, especially if you don't have any.
Speaking of bombs, BGT finding an 8 bomb drop in Thieves Town. So how high was that hype cave?
That was nothing. Absolutely nothing.
I mean, there was a heart piece in there. You got an extra heart out of the deal. That's hype, right?
Maybe if you have 3 hearts, but they have 11.
I mean, they have to get 20 hearts to beat the game, right? That's totally how Randomizer works. So it looks like the small key to Thieves Town was just in the big chest itself, so Blind has the last item.
Yep. Where he's straight heading to Pyramid. Let's see what's on the ledge here.
Surprised we aren't seeing a hook dash. So that speeds up this check by quite a lot.
Nothing here, so do you dip in the pot here or just straight to catfish?
No bow, no lamp, I'd go catfish first. Especially with hookshot. Could then go... no, I'd do a save and quit and then dip Skullwoods, I think. So BGT gets blind done. Got a little scary there, and there's the lamp! So that puts Death Mountain in logic. That puts Aghanim in logic. That puts those mitts in logic.
Yep.
So that lamp is not in the best place. So what was that being said in the chat about Dark Aghanim being useful on 0.01% of seeds? This is one of them. You could totally skip Thieves Town if you know how to do Dark Aghanim. And if Thieves Town comes up late, well, you might have to dive it just to look for the lamp.
So that should be our logically first bottle from Catfish.
Now, seeing as lamp was available, the one on Death Mountain works totally fine.
Yeah, let's
So the interesting thing here about that lamp placement is that if Goggles never wants to go into Thieves Town, he might not find that for a very long time.
Yeah, but with some myths, you run out of options really fast as well.
Yeah.
And Thieves Town isn't exactly on the very bottom of my priority list, even it's a pendant, so I think he'll get it in due time.
Yeah. Nice shovel dash. Only 50 rupees. He doesn't care. Yeah, and the other thing to note is you do need a fire source. This seed specifically is going to need the fire rod for 2 crystals, so fire rod will come up somewhere. And it could be locked behind that lamp as a fire source, which, you know, would just lock things even further. So pretty sure BGT is going to check his hype cave, and then because he has the lamp from Thieves Town, Aghanim is probably more pressing for those myths.
Yep, he needs to save and quit there because there's no mirror to mirror back to the castle.
Yeah, and I'd say Aghanim, because he's locking myths, is even more pressing than a Death Mountain check. Because having those myths allows you to check Dark Death Mountain.
Yep. Yep, doing excellent right now. He wants those myths right now.
I don't blame him. If you know where the myths are, they open so much, it's totally worth going out of your way for them.
Yeah, I'd do that in a heartbeat as well. I have everything I need.
One thing that would be nice. Nope, Goggles is going into Thieves Town. He's probably going to clear it, get his lamp, do the same.
Yep, I don't think he has a lot of options otherwise, other than dipping a bowless pot. Might be using the bottle glitch to see more of it, but I don't think it's worth it right now.
Neither runner has dipped Skull Woods. And the front half of Skull Woods might as well just be an extension of the Dark Overworld, for how many items you get quickly. Or locations you check quickly.
So now they have the lab and the mids. Where do you think our next progression could be?
I'm gonna say Dark Death Mountain sounds pretty appetizing here.
Yeah, lab
Especially
and,
for BGT, who hasn't even checked regular Death Mountain yet.
yeah, I'd go there if I am BGT, but if I'm Goggles, I would be thinking Ice Palace or Dark Death Mountain, either one of them.
Can't do anything in Ice Palace without Fire Rod or Bombos.
Oh yeah, forgot about that. Well, Timber is red, should be close enough, right?
I mean, as far as what's open, despite mitts being available, that doesn't actually open much.
Yeah.
Swamp's locked by Mirror. No medallions. Mire and Turtle Rock are out. Putting aside Samaria and Flute lock them out even further. No can melt things, so Ice Palace is out.
So just East Dark Death Mountain and Smith stuff?
Hera. Goggles didn't do Hera. He could have done that on his first trip up Death Mountain. Well, it might have been fire locked, but Hera will be totally open.
But that's another pendant.
Yeah, but between Hera... Yeah, you've got Hera, you've got Bolus Pod Dip, you've got Fire Rodless Skull Woods Dip, and Overworld, pretty much.
Yeah, none of them sounds like a good idea, honestly.
Yeah, given Hera, I think that skews things heavily in favor of, even for Goggles, a Death Mountain journey. Ooh.
Oh.
You never want to miss a hit against Aghanim 1. Especially those first... so the way this works, you'll cycle between 5 attacks, guaranteed reflectable attack, 3 that are 50-50, blue balls, or reflectable attack, which we've had 3 so far, and then on every 5th, this lightning attack.
So
3 blue balls so far. The one good thing is that both runners will get the exact same RNG here.
But Bento could easily miss another cycle for that first miss.
Yeah. I really hope that doesn't happen. That's 4 blue balls. The most you can get due to those fixed reflectable cycles is 15. This has actually happened to someone. Not in Rando, I think. But somebody did have 15 happen in a run. The most I've personally seen is 11. And it was forced, obviously.
Ouch. Looks like he's not missing a cycle, he does it just fine. And he's going to claim his miss now. 4
blue balls is a little more than average, but not bad. So the good thing about what BGT's routing here is he gets to check the pyramid after Aghanim.
And go to
then-
Catfish as well, but he looks like he doesn't want to do that.
I mean, you've got mitts open. You did Aghanim to get the mitts. Why put off getting the mitts?
Well, when are you going to be closer to Catfish?
After you do North Dark World stuff with Mirror. Then again, what if Catfish has Mirror?
Well, we do know it doesn't have a list seed, it has a bottle. So let's see.
Yeah.
Looks like Goggle is following suit to Aghanim as well.
Eve shouldn't have any trouble. Tempered Sword is enough to one-hit kill every enemy in here with a spin.
Okay, now what, bentglasstube? Where do you going to lead us? Likely Death Mountain.
I mean, the entrance is right there. But he's going elsewhere. Is he going back to the Dark World?
I think if so, let be for Blacksmith or Skullwoods.
He hasn't even met Death Mountain. He has everything necessary to literally fully clear it.
And he's
Except
taking
Spike
this
Cave.
way.
Yeah, the one downside about dealing with Aghanim earlier than you need to is the post-Aghanim world is a much scarier place.
Yeah.
Like, post-Aghanim Death Mountain is kinda stupid. So, BGT is 47 minutes in and has 5 Y items. And yet he's not even really behind.
I think he's still being affected by his early game mistakes, like Lost Wood one. I think it's affecting his thoughts right now. He's being a little slow on that. I don't really blame him, but he should just cut down and try as best as he can.
Well, not that this seed hasn't given a lot of items. They've just mostly been of the A variety. You'll notice that after Goggles does his Aghanim, both runners will have boots, gloves, flippers, moon pearl.
Yeah. Well, but he's making some strange choice here and there. Like he's taking a hammer route even after the mitts, like that.
I think he's just forgetting you need the mirror for this, but he gets the fire rod out of it, so that's actually not bad at all.
Now he needs to find a way to get rid of the frog.
I think as simple as just dropping into a Skull Woods hole, which is pretty convenient seeing as Skull Woods is now a clearable crystal. Can't go that way, there's a Myth Rock. Oh yes you can, you have mitts, what am I thinking?
Meanwhile, Goggles playing with Aghanim his blue balls. We'll tune back later after that.
Yeah, that triple at the start is just rude. Whoa! The Smith is still following in Skull Woods itself after the drop? I did not know that was a thing.
I think you cannot enter the last part with frog because you cannot drop to that.
Yeah, you can't enter a doorway. So, oh my.
He needs to get rid of frog somehow. I know buying a big bomb gets rid of the frog, or getting the Kiki gets rid of frog, but that's both really far away right now.
Yeah. And unfortunately, this chest is the fixed small key, so there's not going to be anything here. So Goggles already checked the pyramid, so he's just going to save and quit. So BGT missed the room that's in the spoiler log as Pot Prison. Just completely missed it. Hopefully... Yeah, can't you take me someplace nice? We're trying! Skullwood's a nice place. I know it has Skull in the name, but it's a nice place, trust me.
Yeah, sure.
There's not even a bug problem. There's only one bug in the whole place. And unlike real-world bugs, if you kill it, it doesn't come back. Yeah, Goggles, with his mitts, does what we expected and makes the Death Mountain rush.
Yep. And Lefra is just being very annoying here. I think he wants to save and quit soon and come back later. After returning the far, he's going to be very close to Skullwoods as well.
Yeah, he's probably going to save and quit after he checks Bumper Cave. Which, no, he's going to go catfish, I guess. So Goggles just gonna do Dark Death Mountain. He doesn't care to do it right now.
Probably Hera just isn't in his mind like Sifang wasn't until the very last moment because it's pendant.
Yeah, I think BGT is just a little bit confused right now. There's a lot of options and he just wants to do Blacksmith, get that out of the way, and just having the Blacksmith following does lock out a lot of things. But he's gonna get his first bottle here, which combos nicely with dropping off the Smith. So there is some upside to this route. We're gonna get to see what the Turtle Rock Medallion is, which is good because it is essential. They're my personal favorite of the medallions by quite a lot.
Yeah, it casts fast, it kills all you need to kill, like the stealthos and give those, and that's good.
A lot of money on Dark Death Mountain. Yeah, money, third bottle, but that was the only real thing of value here. So if Goggles wanted to, he could continue on to West Dark Death Mountain and check Spike Cave. It would be a sequence break, as neither Berna nor Cape have turned up. But he does have a potion with a health refill, so he could totally have done it. But looks like he is going to go to Hera now before doing Blacksmith. BGT goes for King's Tomb. Isn't rewarded for that detour, but good to have it out of the way.
He's back to the East Death Mountain. Did he miss anything here?
No, he's got to take the long way over to Hera.
Oh yeah, he doesn't have mirror. He needs to take this way to Hera. Yeah.
Almost goes back to the Dark World, catches himself in time. It's one of the silliest mistakes you can make. But I think you'd be hard-pressed to find someone who hasn't played a decent amount of Seeds, or who has played a decent amount of Seeds, who hasn't done that at least once.
Yeah, that's one of the cases where the Seed tells where the mirror is white mirror is so good in randomizers.
Yeah, early boots are nice because they're one of the 3 mobility items, but mirror and flute just as valuable. The boots just have a more obvious impact because you get that faster movement speed everywhere. But between flute, boots, and mirror, I'll take flute any day.
That's the other rod here in Hera.
Yeah. So, Ice Rod, good things have turned up. So what are the open questions on this seed? Still need to find the bow. We know where Cane of Samaria is. It's mirror locked. So we still need to find the mirror and ether and flute.
Yeah, that's about it. Oh yeah, and as Chat points out, we are 56 minutes in and we don't have a single crystal on either side. Which...
This looks like the kind of seed where as soon as you find one crystal, the rest are just going to cascade right after, so...
Yeah. Because Goldwood is
this
going to be our first crystal.
Where this room can refer to either the tile room, because nobody likes doing it, or that room in Skull Woods, because let's talk about that room. Fire Rod was a hammer pegs. Yeah, Goggles going back down tile room area to flip the switch. There are a few things that can hit that switch from above. I think the Ice Rod is actually one of the items that can do it, which is funny.
Looks like Ben is going to see the walk around chest first before heading to Masula. I think there's one item outstanding here.
An interesting decision, since you'd have to go to Mothula anyway, so might as well go back in after Moth, but turns out to be the map this time, so unnecessary little trip, but not the worst. So Goggles taking the vanilla route to the Hera big chest. He didn't need to do this because you can just hookshot to it and then bonk back. Don't have to screw around with any bomb jumps.
Looks like Modron have our second item.
Let's see. Flute on Moldorm? Yeah, I want to see Flute on Moldorm.
I'd like to see a single rupee on Modron.
Which is more troll, the pendant boss having nothing or the pendant boss having required progression? the tempered sword. Does the spin and a slash. Goggles got the spin, goes for the slash. So BGT going into the moth fight. 8 hits from pretty much anything he's got will do it here.
Oh yeah, chat is correct. Scout, the first item of Scout is a shield upgrade, so Mothra doesn't have anything here.
Well, Moth has a crystal. That counts for something. Yeah, pretty good fight from BGT there. I'm probably going to get crucified for saying this, but Mothula is actually my favorite boss in the game.
It's one of the more interesting boss, I say at least. It has some interesting gimmicks, but the one bug, pun intended, just kind of ruined things for a lot of people.
So Goggles hasn't dipped Eastern Palace yet. He's thinking he's cleared 2 pendants. I'm probably gonna have to do the 3rd, aren't I? Just the last key from Pot Prison, so... PGT had 3 checks that we knew had no item if we'd been paying attention to the full item count. But he didn't know that. So item counts are pretty important here. What was that bumper bounce?
Where is he going?
I think he might have been item counting and forgot he got either a heart piece or the shield. As mentioned from chat, that's what he's found here. And just thinking that there's another item somewhere, I need it.
But is there another chest somewhere?
No, he's opened them all. Very nice spin from Goggles over there to kill 2 at once.
Well, that's the first time I see this in window.
I guess it would be valuable if you're low on magic. Like, that's actually a really good magic refill room.
Well, yeah, until you cannot get back.
Pretty sure you could bonk back from the north wall. But don't always have the boots. So yeah, BGT has not gone to Death Mountain at all yet. Hasn't done purple chest, he might go grab that. And Ice Palace is open as well. But come on, when you have literally all of Death Mountain open to you, you have that bottled fairy, you could just brute force your way through Spike Cave.
Yeah, I think he's considering his choice right now. I don't know. I really don't know.
He might just be thinking Death Mountain needs flute. Because if you haven't done vanilla in a while, or haven't had to take the glove route in a while, you just might forget about it. In Goggles' position, Skullwoods and Ice Palace are definitely pretty strong plays, just because they are crystals 5 and 6.
But he needs to claim the fire rod from hammer pegs first.
Yeah. He will probably do so pretty soon. He doesn't have many options left. It's pretty much Skullwoods Dip or Blacksmith. Or Pod. But I don't think anybody really wants to do Pod here. It makes it a little more appetizing, but... Oh, neither runner's checked Agina yet! BGT is probably going to do that after his purple chest. Which has the book, almost definitely now, because that desert...
Desert is open and clearable. So that's a nice find from BGT here.
Come on, dude, go to Agina! No, Agina! You might be just waiting until after desert, but trying to put something off until after, and it's really easy to forget that you were planning on going there.
Looks like Goggle is going to get his fire rush soon.
Yeah. And we'll see if he grabs the blacksmith or if he just elects to rush straight into Skullwoods. Actually, he didn't grab the blacksmith, so he might not be, or he might be doing it second.
He might have been playing to get the smith on after the pegs, but getting the fire rod likely is changing his mind.
Yeah. If you're trying to do that part without mirror, the best thing to do is just grab the smith, save and quit, drop him off, and then do the hammer pegs before picking up the purple chest. Saves you a couple of screen transitions, but if you're not planning on doing all of it, then hammer pegs first and then going back is generally better. Because it gets you that first item just a little bit quicker.
So it looks like nothing just yet, so the items is likely on the torch, big chest, and Lemona. Three of the two. Two of the three.
3 items in 2 locations? What version of Randomizer are we playing now? I'd love that. Every chest has 2 items. You get double the green rupees.
I wonder if that's actually feasible.
Well, there's the sword and shield item, so it at least should be technically doable. So, red rupee, compass, and then Molus as the final item, and it's hopefully a prize. Nice double spin from Goggles to remove that mummy in one go. They have way too much health, honestly. I mean, I know they died a 1 fire rod hit, but they still have too much health.
Yeah.
So BGT's health situation is getting a little bit precarious, but he does have that bottled fairy from Catfish.
Mm-hmm. And those lasers that you do 1 heart regardless of your mail. So you have to be careful, there's a lot of them here.
I believe Lenmola's contact damage is unaffected by mail as well. I know Armos damage is unaffected. Yeah, half magic fire rod Landmo fight with Master Sword as backup shouldn't be a problem, even with 4 hearts. So Goggles, even though we can't see right now, is almost definitely progressing into the back of Skull Woods. With both items, he's just going to rush Mothula. I think the Wallmaster ground frames. So BGT is electing to do Landmo with the sword instead of the fire rod. Not so fun fact about Landmo, the slashes for the Master Sword and the Fighter Sword do the same amount of damage. And would take 8 slashes with either. Every spin up here counts for 2 slashes, but they die in 2 fire rod hits. But that was a pretty solid fight, and we only find Quake.
I'm not sure we're going to need it. We'll only have to find out after the flute.
Yeah, it could be the Meyer medallion, but it's 1 in 3. Alright, dude. Death Mountain.
No, he's at Gina's cave. He needs to remember that first. Looks like he remembers it.
Death Mountain. This might as well be part of Death Mountain.
Yeah, it has the same color palette.
Can't bonk that wall.
So Ben's Death Mountain is going to have one more item than Goggles, that's Ether tablet. So it's going to be very interesting what's on there.
Too, if he decides to go for Spike Cave. 14 hearts is enough with a hook shot to get through on its own. It's not in logic, because the logic tries to make sure everything's doable on 3 hearts because of insane mode. For now. In the future, at some point, Spike Cave might get health-based logic, but until then, you need an invincibility item for it to be in logic. But since we know one is going to turn up at some point for Turtle Rock anyway, because... Well, actually, no, we don't. We've seen 2 different shields. And if the third one shows up, that opens the laser bridge.
Laser bridge is the only place where logic refers to all the shields. So that's one that likely she's going to check all the light world stuff first before going to Dark World.
And
So
Goggles elected to go to Ice Palace. We didn't miss any chests, so we'll get to see what's here.
Yep, and look at his full health, he probably beat Mothula just fine.
Well, you get refilled after Moth, so...
Yeah.
So yeah, I like the Ice Palace play here, for reasons already mentioned.
Yeah, it's 3 items plus 2 from the ferry. Always a good check, counter to check.
And really, we're coming down to either Ether Tablet, Ice Palace, or Pod. So the good thing about Ice Palace is that after it, if it's a bust, you check Pyramid Fairy, and then you're in about the best spot to check Pod. So I like Goggles' overall route quite a bit.
Well, I think he'll need to do the bump jump here because he doesn't have the King of Samaria.
Yeah, we'll see if he knows it. I think most runners in the tournament do, but they're people of all skill levels.
Yeah. This bomb jump is the first trick I learned playing this game.
Makes
He
it
nails
look
it.
easy. Yeah, the Ice Palace bomb jump is definitely one of the most useful tricks to know how to do. It can save a lot of time on its own. But especially if you have Samaria going in, it is by no means essential.
But
Without Samaria, you do pretty much always want to do the bomb jump because you can clear out all the items going on your way down, usually through some other bomb jumps. But with Samaria, you can skip it.
That mini motor is juking real hard. Finally gets it.
Yeah, this goggles showing the disadvantage of doing the bomb jump. If you want to make this loop to the so-called iced tea room, it's a longer route. That said, it does give you that key, which is pretty nice. So we'll want to pay attention to what cold stare drops when it happens. Because if cold stare has a small key, now Samaria is accessible. But interestingly enough, because we know where Samaria is, that means Mirror is accessible, which is a much stronger piece of knowledge.
Mm-hmm. So he's going to check the right hand side just fine with that hook shot. I think he already got 2 small keys here. There's only 1 more in this dungeon. So if it shows up, that means we don't know anything about Mirror just yet.
Well, no, there's only 2 test small keys in Ice Palace. There's just a lot of enemy and pot keys. So BGT gonna do Dark Death Mountain before Hera, if he even goes into Hera.
Yeah, that's a little questionable because he has no mirror. He needs to save and quit to do this again if he wants to go to Hera.
Let's see what's on right side of Ice Palace. The mirror, okay.
Well then, that puts that point to Swamp actually, because Samaria doesn't open anything by itself yet.
Yeah. So flute, bow, and ether. And potentially Bombus if it's the Meyer medallion. So late mirror is always a pain, because you've usually cleared out most of the overworld locations by now, and the mirror spots are just all over the place.
Yeah, and that's Bumble's tablet, Styles of Growth, and Graveyard Ledge. They are so far away from each other.
Good news for Goggles is that he hasn't done Purple Chest, which combos into Bomba's tablet very nicely, but he doesn't have the book from Purple Chest, so that's probably not on his mind. So BGT gonna get his Turtle Rock Medallion knowledge, and then he's probably gonna head to Ice Palace as well.
I think he's coming to this mountain. I think he's going to Hera instead.
Reasonable decision. It is a much faster dungeon. It's a much easier dungeon. And with Ether Tablet available,
Taking a few buffs by Coldseer here, missing the initial spin. He has tons of fire rod shots. Use them.
yeah, Fire Rod kills a
No.
puff in 4 hits. Worth noting, 3 hearts is exactly how much contact damage is here, so without that potion, 1 more contact hit and he would have been dead.
Yep.
And yeah, that would have been a death.
Yep.
So good potion use, but might not have been necessary with some more Fire Rod shots.
Yeah.
Like,
It's,
pun intended, the Fire Rod just melts Cold Stare.
yeah, totally do. So that's your small key, which shows mirror is available. Haha. So logically double dip.
Yeah, what the logic wants you to do is get that mirror and then come back later. Ouch. In a nutshell, that's why knowing how to sequence can be nice. Oh, Ether Tablet. This is something we haven't seen. Just rupees.
So what's next? Spike cave, then pot dip, and swamp.
Definitely swamp here. It is a fully clearable crystal dungeon. Nobody likes doing left side swamp, but you know, it's accessible.
Yeah, I think the additional play is swamp into Pyramid Fairy here.
And then if that doesn't pan out, then you go to pod.
Yep.
Hoo-hoo. he tries to set up the just wait invincibility there, gets knocked off the switch and has to go hit the switch again.
Well, at least it's not longer inside the suit. That makes dodging the tails very unpleasant.
Yeah, but you don't need to dodge with the sword. Also, that's what a dash poke is. Charging a dash poke doesn't go away. I've heard the term, but it never clicked with me that that's how it worked until just now. Moldorms are just not playing nice. Was that 3 hits from the same spin?
Yep, that's 3 hits. Same can happen in Turtle Rock when you try to spin the Poke for a key and accidentally hit the Crystal Surge a couple of times.
I am learning so many little things from this.
So we're in Swamp. He got a big key in the first chest. So let's see what he will do regard to left hand side this time.
Yeah, you can elect to completely skip left side swamp, which is not usually a good move. You can elect to do it immediately, which saves a tiny bit of time, or you can elect to put it off for better knowledge on if you need to get both chests over there.
Well, there's a map from the bottom chest, so he knows there's at least one item on the left side.
There's Cape. That puts Spike Cave in logic. So BGT shows us the Hera bomb jump. Didn't need to do it because of hookshot and bonk, but you know, the bomb jump is not much slower, and you know, you're doing it on a stream. You kind of want to show off a little bit sometimes. Like that bumper dash.
Yeah, made easier with the foot bunk as well for the bump jump.
And I'd say that hammer dash is showing off a bit too.
Yeah. Denied by the red beetle. Red beetle also has a gazillion HP.
I swear that has more health than pretty much any other enemy in the game. I think it even has more health than some bosses.
But all the heart in the world doesn't save you from fall from Mordor.
In fact, no, Moldworm's right there is a perfect example. Moldworm this giant worm has less health than that one beetle. Ooh, I think that was a poke. Yeah, so Moldworm takes... well, Moldworm has 12 hit points. The poke would do 2, the slash 4, and the spin 8. As soon as Moldworm hits 10 hit points, gone, that's the enraged state. Even with that state, it was actually a pretty good fight. So, nothing on left side swamp. So BGT is going to head off to somewhere else. Spike Cave seemed pretty appetizing just to knock it out. You're just at full health from Moldworm. You don't even have to drink a potion or anything, you can just do it. And with Cape being accessible via, well, mirror and then going into swamp, it's even in logic right now, even though he can't
doesn't
know
know yet. Yeah. I think he's going to ice, following the footsteps. And
Yeah.
we'll see what's in the later half of swamp, yeah.
I'd still say that Spike Cave logic is not worth paying attention to, other than knowing potential sequence breaks. It's pretty safe to assume that one of the items that unlocks it will turn up at some point and could lead to something, and it's not exactly the most convenient location to get back to.
There's the ball.
Well, still worth checking Pyramid after this, and then Palace of Darkness.
Yep, that's a crystal you can right now full clear.
So there's been a lot of decent options available, but the seed is almost pushing the runners to do ice, and then do swamp, and then do pod.
And more likely that flute is going to be seen in pod, which pushes to mire.
Just as likely that we would see Ether, which immediately pushes Turtle Rock. Ether would open up 6 items, 5 from Turtle Rock plus Mimic Cave. Flute would open up 5. Checkerboard Cave, Mire Shed, and Mire itself.
August wasting a bit of time spinning nothing until the last phase.
Pretty solid kill, though. So yeah, Bow and Swamp makes it worth the trip. So BGT almost looked like he was deciding if he wanted to bomb jump or not, but he's going to be going for it. Little low there.
I think this one looks
High
better.
there.
It's too high. The first one is not close enough to the edge, I think. That's a
Too
little
high
too
again.
high.
If you're using the Sword and Shadow lineup, what you want to look for is 0 to 3 cyan pixels visible. So that was 2, and then depending on the result, you want 0 to 1 pixels between your sword and the bomb. In that case, he wanted 0, and he got 0.
Yep.
There are other lineups you can use where you just use the Shadow the whole time, but I'd still use Sword and Shadow, even though sometimes you come in here swordless. But I've done it enough that once you do it enough, you can just do it by feel.
Well, I namely use shadow and sword, but I usually just feel it because I can't count the exact pixel in the rush like this.
So Goggles doing the smart route. He's already had to defeat Aghanim to get to this point, so he can use the gate as a shortcut to the pyramid.
Doing a different route using the small key he finds in the freeze room to go to the right side first.
This is a pretty solid route. It clears out the right side before doing the slower stuff. Like, if you're just looking for items, this is the way to do ice. So it might look like Goggles is just way in the lead, but he hasn't done Desert Palace, which is a crystal, and BGT already has done that. I didn't see anything of value at Pyramid Fairy, so off to Palace of Darkness we go.
So even if you count the Desert Pass, I think Go still have a decent lead because Swamp and Ice are both longer than the Desert Pass is both clear. So
Yep. He's got a lead, but it's not as big as the relative locations would make it look. And as mentioned in the chat, the book being on purple chest could be all the difference if it turns out to be necessary. Nice little display bug there.
Bo is in Swamp basement. So you are here in Park. Do you now call Eastern after this, and then just go blind pool?
Yeah, I think that's what I'd do in Goggles' situation here. Well, yeah, no book, so can't even get into Desert right now. Like, I would definitely go for the blind pull if Palace of Darkness doesn't pan out. There's not really anything left other than stray mirror spots. And Armos having an item, and Green Pendant, and Pedestal. That's 3 items for one boss. But that is all contingent on Palace of Darkness being Palace of Duds. So first test was a small key, but Goggles elects to just prioritize the right side.
Liberally using the fire rod to dispatch the coaster, grabbing his
There's
crystal.
the flute. So that raises an interesting question. Do you go on to the rest of Pod? Well, obviously you do, but how much do you clear out? Alright, it's a crystal. Wait. I mixed up crystal and pendant for a moment. Ignore me.
Where was Quick, do you remember? Goggle doesn't have it?
He doesn't have it?
His menu doesn't show it.
No, he does. Oh, wait, no, you're right. Goggles doesn't.
Do you remember where that was?
No, I don't. Oh yeah, Quake was on Mom, so Goggles, during that period of... No, wait, no, Quake, it couldn't be, because he did Pyramid Fairy, and Skullwoods was one of those crystals. Okay, chat, setting us straight. Quake was on Lenmo list. Mushroom, turning up in Pod to go with that flute. But with that flute, the answer is always Meyer.
Yeah, with that mirror, he might just get if my edge is quick, he will get it just in time. Because it's on Limpolis.
And if it is Quake, then it's just Samaria to go mode, and we know where Samaria is.
No, we still need Ether for Turtle Rock.
Oh, right. Those not always required items can easily slip your mind while playing.
That wall doesn't bunk, so bend.
A map and compass in the dark maze. Does the big chest have any value?
So at this point, would you go claim the Samaria first, or do you check the Maya medallion first?
I'd definitely check the Meyer medallion first, and then do Meyer Shed, Checkerboard, Desert. I know that puts the overworld before the dungeons, but there's enough items left until go mode that just putting off the dungeons slightly to have a more efficient overall clearing path is the better overall play. So interesting bit of meta knowledge that Goggles could have used here. After he found one key on the right side of this back part and then another in the dark basement, he could have deduced that there was not a key in the Harmless Hellway, and gotten that item, and then got at the big chest mirrored out.
But this switch to Homosome looks a little bit faster. Maybe not because he has to walk back the dark maze.
Yeah, if he was going to use the jump, then it would have been quicker, but... Well, hammer jump is usually not worth it unless you're doing key sanity.
Or MNG for that matter.
Well, that relies on knowing where things are.
Yeah.
In a randomizer setting, it's pretty much key sanity, maybe retro, but there's plenty of keys everywhere. So for the tracker, Goggles did get the mushroom. I see that's not marked, and BGT obviously has the mirror because he's running around in swamp. So I don't know how comfortable either of these runners are with silverless Ganon, and we haven't seen the silver arrows.
Yeah, we all talk about Ice Rod can be anywhere. Silver arrow can be, and that silver is actually required by logic, but it's the most common sequence break to do a silverless.
Also, yeah, chat's pointing out that BGT autopiloted left side swamp. He flooded the key. Fortunately, V29 makes that a little less costly, but still not a fun mistake to make. So I'm hoping that we get to see what drops from King Helmasaur.
So while this is all going on, I want to plug in that if you want to see more randomizer, make sure to follow Speed Gaming Network 1-6 and ALTT Randomizers 1-4. I heard today there are over 60 races, so obviously we are not going to restrict them all, but it's impressive.
Well, Helmasaur's dead. Bomb capacity upgrade. And more importantly, another crystal. Yeah, there are so many races going on constantly.
Looks like he just didn't use the hookshot key. So left part respawn if you do the vanilla left side, like just go out from the menu, so it can look like it's flooded.
So Goggles forgetting that mirror plus dead Aghanim means the Dark World save quit drops you on the pyramid. So that's another thing worth noting about Spike Cave. You want to save quit out of it, so checking it before mirror if you have the chance, and you had to kill Aghanim, usually a good move, but Goggles gonna go activate his flute. I'm sure he's very happy that he finally has that.
Meanwhile, Bento exactly 1 down behind, just clearing his bow.
The pedestal has not yet been checked, and if it's a medallion, I feel like we're just saying the same things we said yesterday. The pedestal dream yesterday was it had to be Bombos. And now it has to be required bombos or ether.
Looks like we're having mirror spot checks from goggles. Likely the purple chest and saw the group and then bump. And he didn't know, but he can check the Bumble's tablet after that.
Yep, and that's gonna push him to check Agina at an hour 47 or so before waltzing into desert. Oh, he never did blacksmith.
Yeah, the pet cave having fire rod put a wrench on that plane, but he can just blacksmith much faster now with that mirror.
So it looks like BGT is going to follow the same path that Goggles just paved. Pyramid Fairy, Palace of Darkness.
You normally cannot dash with the purple chest or the big bomb for that matter, but there's a certain tricks you can do that makes you dash without the chest and bomb being left behind. There's hook shot strat and getting damage boost strat.
You also can't jump down a ledge with the big bomb or it goes away. But if the bomb is not following you and you screen transition as it starts to explode, it snaps back to you, which is pretty convenient. So Goggles approaching purple chest from the light world. Can't fault that, even flute, but that's gonna delay his Bombos tablet check. So, quick decision time. Do you backtrack and go for Agina, or go for Bombos tablet, or do you go forward for Agina? And he was having a lot of trouble with that decision. He's just gonna go for desert in the mire area. Did BGT lose the super bomb?
I did not know that. I did not see that. Or maybe he just prefer to do dig spot right now?
Yeah. Alright, let's see checkerboard cave here. Just a piece of heart.
Looks like our tracker caught the Ether Medallion for Mystery Mine as well, so we are looking for just that for Go mode.
Alright, remaining locations are pretty much Bombos Tablet, Graveyard Ledge, Hedis, Armos, Sahasrahla, and I think that's it. Samaria has not been picked up, but both runners know where it is because it's just sitting on top of Spectacle Rock.
I think Goggle is going to do that right now and check the Ether tablet
And
as
Spike
well.
Cave. Neither runner checked Spike Cave for all that talking about how it could have been checked.
Here are your silver arrows.
That is very good for him. Because depending on the route Goggles takes, he might not find those silvers, and those silvers will make Ganon and Vitreous much faster. In fact, that'll even speed up his pod clear. So, very lucky find. Goggles might have about a pod-sized lead right now, but those silvers could be the difference.
Totally could. Let's see what Ether tablet Intel. I think we saw that before. It's a big 20 or 10 euros or something.
Yeah, here comes that Spike Cave check. I kind of want to see Bombos here. I think that would be the funniest thing.
Looks like Ben is going for Eastern for his last pendant.
Yeah, Armos plus the Hospital plus Pedestal. That's 3 items, so definitely far from a bad decision.
But of course he's doing pot first. I'm not sure.
No, pod first is definitely the right play, seeing as it's a crystal. But
yeah, I'm thinking where he come from. Where did he come from to pot? That routing looks a little strange. I never see that before.
Yeah, given the Aghanim portal, that would have been the quickest way, but this way isn't bad. So Goggles is going to be checking Desert Ledge on his way over to the book entrance to Desert. If you have Flute Mitts and Mirror, it is actually always better to take that route into Desert Palace than the book entrance, because you can just mirror back to the left side entrance, which takes you to Land Molos much quicker.
And you don't have to watch this cutscene?
That too.
Hey guys, required because Titan Smith is in Lumberjack tree.
BGT skipping the shooter room at the start of pod.
Well, he will miss a small key. If he doesn't open the center door, he's good on that front.
I don't think either runner has checked Graveyard Ledge either here. But, you know, Mirror being as late as it was, the rest of that entire area has been checked. It's one of the nastiest isolated locations in the endgame. So BGT getting his flute, doesn't see it in his menu. But that's because it's under the shovel. Dataplat, there actually has not been a pedestal check. With the book being in purple chest, Goggles only recently got it, maybe 10 minutes ago, if that, and BGT has just had more pressing places to go. Yeah, something is missing. Now, it is possible to clear Palace of Darkness without the big key, with major glitches that aren't allowed. Because, you know, no major glitches rules.
Yep. You will
So,
get his bad news right about now.
I do like the message. The message is quite amusing, but not fun to see it at a door like that. Versus something like Swamp Palace Big Chest, where it's right there. Yeah, so something is missing.
So we're almost 2 hours in. We're looking for Ether Medallion for gold mode. Where do you think it can be? I think almost is kind of a good bet right now.
It pretty much has to be locked behind Armos. I don't know if either runner has checked Witch yet. I'm pretty sure neither one has checked Graveyard Ledge. But at this point, I think it's just Mushroom, Graveyard Ledge, Armos, Sahasrahla, and Pedestal. I think everything else has been checked. The fact that it's locking 2 entire dungeons means, well, it's a little easier to check everything.
Yeah, and the longest two as well.
Just a heart piece from Mushroom, so I easily could have missed a Graveyard Ledge check. Looks like that's probably the next place being gone to. Which you can't fault. Those quicker isolated locations. No! Maybe. It might also be a pedestal check?
It looks like the Graveyard Ledge check first.
Actually, has Goggles even checked Bumper Cave? I know BGT did, and I don't think it was anything of value, but I don't think Goggles ever went up this way.
I don't think so.
Mr. November, Palace of Darkness has 5 unique items in it. 6 small keys and then the 3 dungeon items. Alright, Graveyard Ledge. This is the moment of truth before we have to go see Armos, I think. Plus 10 bombs. So what is that? 3 spots left before the last is pedestal?
Sounds about right. I don't think Spike check escape is checked.
Yeah, Goggles hadn't checked Bombo's tablet yet, so he's gonna go get his silvers.
And then we're down to the 3 green pendant location at Spike Cave.
He checked Spike Cave.
He did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so at this point, it's pretty sure Armos is required. I mean, you can't really fault chasing down all these overworld locations. Like, would you want to go back into Eastern Palace? You only have one item left, and you check the fastest locations left.
Yep. Good thing he's going to get rewarded here.
Yeah, and Armos is the slow one, even though it gives you a bundle of 3 items in this context. Yeah, here goes the Eastern play. So, defeat Ganon accidentally turns into an all-dungeon seed.
I mean, that's how Vanilla goes.
Yeah, but Vanilla does it in such a contrived way. Like, what are the odds of having required second sword on the pedestal so you can get Dark World access through Aghanim? Like, seriously, who came up with that?
So Bentglass going through the turtle room once again. This time with the big key, while Goggles going through the Eastern the second time, heading straight to Almost Light for his last few locations.
Yeah. So the question then becomes, does it drop from Armos? Does it drop from Sahasrahla? Or do we have to pull the pedestal? Obviously, like, these are all pretty similar in terms of time, but everybody, I think, except the runners, are hoping for pedestal. The runners might even be hoping for that. The Moldorm kill wasn't a waste of time.
A spin and 2 slashes takes down Helmasaur with Tempest Sword.
Alright. So we'll see if BGT elects to mirror and go straight into Eastern Palace. He's gonna do it! We've got a race again! Because we know this has to be the right move, and this is go mode after that Ether turns up, which we know it's even on Armos!
As a trivia, he doesn't need to pick up his green pendant, he can just mirror straight out.
Yeah, but we've got a race again. Like, BGT was pretty far behind, but his decision to go straight back into Eastern after Pod, it's gonna pay off. So, Tower of Hera was not necessary this seed, but required Lamp on Blind, required Ether on Armos, and Mitts at Lumberjack. That is not a nice seed. So it's worth noting that BGT elected to turn off his silver arrows. So yeah, Misery Mire in Go mode is an interesting scenario because it's just a big key hunt. You can find it immediately, or you can have to search for a little bit. There is one interesting bit of meta knowledge you can use. If you find a small key on the left side, so in the upper chest there, guarded by the switch blocks, then you know the big key is in its vanilla location. This is because there would be key lock potential if you had a small key over there and then anything but the big key, because the big key gives you an extra small key door. So yeah, hopefully BDT remembers to go get his Cane of Samaria, and then I'm pretty sure Mire and then Turtle Rock is the better order.
Yeah, I think so too. Or is it since you're already up there? Yeah, maybe Smile first should be better.
I mean, you're already in the light world, so you can flute to Mire, which you'd have to do from somewhere. And the trip to Turtle Rock is going to be about the same, either from Mountain Cave or not from Mountain Cave. It looks like he's forgotten where Cane of Samaria is, though. Or just doesn't realize he has everything once he goes back to Death Mountain to get that. So I'm hoping to see Mountain Cave here. Goggles finding the big key in the lobby. So
One of the better locations to find it.
yeah, so he can just go clear Mire now. Electing to go through the kill room, which I don't think Ether kills the slugs, so medallions wouldn't really speed it up. But I can't say I've gone through that room since I started doing Randomizer. That is definitely something I should keep in mind.
Yes.
Oh yeah, he hadn't activated his flute yet. So he's got to activate his flute, hopefully flute 1, hopefully get that Cane of Samaria, and then it's misery time.
So what Goggles did there is likely the dark room strat for that room. I think it's just for practice purposes, so he can see where he's aiming.
After he got knocked down by a fireball, he was just near the bottom, so I think he just elected to toss the block because he knew how to toss the block, rather than try and go back up and try it again. So, come on, BGT. It's on Spectacle Rock. Go to Mountain Cave. Yes. Having deja vu to an hour ago where I hadn't even gone to Death Mountain yet. Nice spin speed. So for the people asking where Cane of Samaria was, there was your answer.
Silver Arrow skill pictures real quick.
Yeah, it's a fun fight. So it looks like BGT's electing to target Turtle Rock before Misery Mire. Where's the bug net? I don't remember seeing that getting picked up.
I'm not exactly sure.
I see like Goggles had it as the only difference in the menu.
Chat points out the button is in Mire. Probably get it as is something or a big key.
Falling through the Smaria platform. Not fun when it happens. Yeah, the decision to do Turtle Rock before Misery Mire is not faster, but if you're on autopilot, I can clear this dungeon now and it's right here. Yeah, like it's just Turtle Rock is more out of the way, but it's less out of the way if it combos with Ganon's Tower. So it's the difference between having to go up Death Mountain twice and having to go up Dark Death Mountain twice. And the latter is definitely a lot slower. But I can definitely see why somebody would go to Turtle Rock first, if you're just thinking, I need to get this crystal now. Yeah, pedestal and all dungeons were not required because Hera was a bust, but Lamp and Ether were on Blind and Armos. So here we are, Turtle Rock in Go mode. It's no different than a full clear.
Yeah, I need to find a lot of small keys than the big keys.
Yeah, very linear dungeon, very slow dungeon, very annoying dungeon. So Chomp's hurt even with Blue Mail. That's 3 hearts each, I'm pretty sure. I mean, I've been wrong before on how much damage stuff in Turtle Rock does. As a rule of thumb, it all does 4 hearts in Green Mail.
Yup.
And also as a rule of thumb, it does too much in Blue Mail.
Totally.
So BGT is going to go do the vanilla big key chest. You don't have to do this in Go mode. That's pretty much the only difference. If it's a small key, then it's neutral. If it's not a small key, then you get to skip Loser Bridge.
Yeah, especially they have always got a big key from this chain chomp room. I'd personally just go take the key and run.
Yep, but it's not always one of the most obvious things to realize. I know it took me a long time to realize that. Like, it might be random in Randomizer, but there's definitely a lot of things you can do to... Oh, no. I got scared for Goggles for a moment there. Half a heart
too.
drops his fairy rather than letting it revive.
Okay, got his big key.
Sick. BGT gonna be going over to see if there's a small key in the big chest. Don't need to check Mimic Cave. You don't need to check Mimic Cave.
Maybe he really, really wants that ghost sword. I can't think of anything else.
Maybe he
Another
wants red mail.
or another part is that he has not yet been to my area. He does not know that he's in go mode.
This is true. He might be at full clearing because, well, he might be thinking Bombos is the Meyer medallion. So Goggles not grabbing the big key chest. So he's got that key neutral trade. Yeah, from the omniscient perspective, like, we know go mode, but BGT had not been to Meyer, so he doesn't know. There's Berna. Huh. I wonder if that platform route is faster. I don't think I've seen anyone else do that.
Neither do I. And he's checking laser bridge with that burner or the cape, or with just the boots.
I mean, he does have both. But he's electing to just show some laser skips. Clutch Heart Piece gives him the health refill. I mean, there are full magics coming up, so... There's the Bombos medallion, so that's going to be a full inventory.
And he's now absolutely sure he's in go mode because he has all the medallions, but he still needs to open that last chest because that's a small key.
Yeah, Goggle's gonna take the safety door. Wouldn't be surprised if BGT does right now. Oh, please don't get lasered knocked off. Oh, 1 heart. He does have the fairy still, I think.
And he can powder a lot of the anti-fairies in the upcoming tech room.
But yeah, I think this was every Y item found for Goggles. He does have... No, wait, no, because he didn't get Bombos from Laser Bridge, even though he has every bottle. BGT has every bottle as well. And we'll almost definitely be getting the net from Misery Meyer by route. And he did get the mushroom out of Palace of Darkness, even though that's not marked on the tracker. So
we're approaching our Trinex fight. This is going to be our last crystal, so we're going to start against Power Gaze again right now. Can you explain it for us?
Alright, so the big key of Ganon's Tower is the last item the runners need. There are 22 chests in the basement of Ganon's Tower that can contain this chest, or this key. Imagine finding a chest in a chest. All you have to do is get a number that you think it'll be found in. So personally, I always hope to see it in the map chest, which is the firebar room. If you go full left side, it's number 6.
So my random guess today is going to be 9. And if you get you have subscribed to any of the speed game channel or donated 250 bits, you can be on the leaderboard. And Goggle is going to be very close right now. 2 hearts left.
He did take the safety door, so that death that he just took is not too bad. So yeah, BGT has no trouble with Trinex. He's gonna head over to Meyer now, and then back up to Ganon's Tower. So the developers of Link to the Past were pretty nice with this room right here. Fairies for restocking, there's a full magic right before Trinex. Very nice.
He's deciding to use the sword for the switch. You can use the pots here for an easier way to get through the maze.
Or just take out the Cane of Samaria, because you're going to be using it in that next room. So at this point, we're 2 hours, 20 minutes in. As is being pointed out in the chat, you're kind of expecting the other person to be finishing any minute now.
Yup.
But we know that Ganon's Tower has not even been touched yet.
Having way more health for the last phase this time, I think he will be alright.
Gets a spin, takes a hit, doesn't care. One more slash at this point. Down goes Trinex. So, Goggles is just standing there? You can go to Ganon's Tower, dude.
Maybe he's considering whether he wants to get some potions or not. I'm not sure. If I want to, yeah, that would be good. But if I want to get closer, I have to do it before coming up to Turtle Rock.
Not necessarily on your mind before Turtle Rock. I mean, I've definitely gone straight to Ice Palace and thinking, yeah, I need to go to Ice Palace. That's where my stuff is. And then realized the moment I start going there that I really wanted to get some potions, but I'm already in the dungeon. Well, BGT's about to get his Misery Mire big key. And he's got the full menu. I So he's catching a fairy here. He just wants that for safety's sake. Misery Mire, you only need the big key. So he's just powdering some anti-fairies to get some health up before tackling the end of the dungeon.
A small tip that you don't need to leave that pot to powder that bunny bean. You can just powder it under the pot. It works as well.
I think he just doesn't realize that he can just go. Looks like Goggles' stream is frozen at this point, so we don't know when he elected to start going for Ganon's tower. As I see the animation has stopped.
Maybe I'll stop the GT Games game now, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, if you're having technical issues in a race, you normally don't even know the cause, it just happens. So... we'll see where the big key was for Ganon's tower when BTT gets there. He's not far.
Just as Goggle string is offline, looks like it's really technical difficulties happening.
Ooh, that was a cool bonk strat.
Looks like a face tanking strat.
Also, Feasel mentioning in the chat that Goggle actually forfeit the race with the comment, "I have to go." So, real life comes up. What can you do? So he had the lead, but, you know, if you have work or something, that real life has to come over Rando. So BDT is just going to finish this out. Still get to see where in Ganon's tower that is. The key is, assuming, of course, they don't decide to try to reschedule. I don't think that's likely to happen. It's far enough in. Yeah, the collection rate for BDT would be pretty high because he was picking up almost every just random item. But he also got to skip a lot of overworld locations because he prioritized Eastern Palace right after Pod.
So he's going to be here taking the last trip to Darkwell with the Tezzeret portal and to the Ganon's Tower.
So the fastest way up to Ganon's Tower is always through Paradox Cave and the Turtle Rock portal. Like, actually always. Even if it's not open. If the portal is already open, it's way faster. If it's not, then it's actually pretty close between opening the portal and going up through Super Bunny Cave. Hookshot assumed, of course.
But taking the Super Bunny Cave means you have to run through less dead rocks on your way up, so...
Yep. That is why you might want to go for the Super Bunny Cave route. But all that said, it really doesn't matter between those two. Just going the Hera route is about 20 seconds slower. Even with all the spin speed or hook speeds. So we're seeing left side first in Ganon's Tower. Big key on the torch, that's a 1. So hopefully he remembers to get a small key. There's one right in the room to his left. No, no! Don't go upstairs.
So it looks like Goggles has a little time to do some brief interview, so shall we put him in?
Yeah. So, BGT's gotta hope that there's a key upstairs in Ganon's Tower.
Hello?
Hi.
Hello?
Yeah, we
Hello?
can hear you.
Hello?
We hear hellos.
Hello? Do you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Do you hear me? Hi?
Hi.
Oh, there we go. Sorry.
So, that was a bit
I'm
of a monstrosity of a seed.
It might as well have just been a pedestal seed. There was one required item in each pendant dungeon.
Was there anything in Hera?
There was Ice Rod.
Yeah, there was Ice Rod, but wasn't on Moldorm, so technically the Hera clear was not necessary. But of course, pretty much anyone would in that case. So, we just found out where the Ganon's Tower big key was.
Oh.
The torch.
The torch?
The torch.
Ah, damn. I spent a little bit longer time, but I'm a school. I'm a college student, so there's class to take care of.
Yeah, if you got somewhere you have to be, you've got somewhere you have to be.
Yep. I'm just walking over to my class.
Oh, yes. Thanks for taking the time with us today, then.
What?
Thanks for playing the game today and taking the phone out to do the interview as you're walking?
Yep. It was that seed. I felt behind the entire time.
You were
Hell.
actually a little ahead for most of it.
Really?
Yeah, it was. You were a dungeon and a half ahead around the time you were doing Palace of Darkness.
Oh.
And then after bentglasstube did Palace of Darkness, he mirrored and went straight into Eastern before doing all that overworld stuff. And at that point, it was about half a dungeon need. Then he went and did Turtle Rock before Meyer, and he was finishing up. Or no, yeah, he was entering Turtle Rock about a minute before you did, still having to do Meyer because he hadn't activated his flute yet. He hadn't picked up Samaria yet.
Yeah. I was like, okay, mental notes. There's a glove in there's a glove in Anxiety Tree. There's Samaria on Spectacle Rock. So yeah, those two were like okay. And Mirror wasn't found for like an eternity and a half.
Yeah. Oh! BGT takes a death on the climb, but he went out of his way to catch a fairy in Misery Mire, so he does have some safeties.
Yeah, I took my stream cut off, but I did take a death in Helmasaur.
Oh, you took a death on Helmasaur? We only saw the one on Trinex.
Yeah, I did take a death on Helmasaur, but I had a fairy, a backup. My stream reconnected just as I was defeating it.
Okay.
He literally cornered me. But yeah, I got really sloppy near the end. I was inputting buttons that I shouldn't have.
It's easy to get fatigued after that long.
Yeah.
BGT with that early torch didn't go out of his way to get the small key before the climb. There's one chest left that can save him.
Oof.
And it is the rarest one of all to have a small key in it.
Yeah, nuts.
Yeah, this seed.
I'm arriving. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for playing that.
That seed.
Yeah, that sums it up.
Yep.
So that was Goggles, and here we have Bent in denial.
There's no keys up here. Well, at least he has the bug net from Meyer, so he can catch more fairies. Yeah, he mirrors. He's gonna get that necessary small key. It is so easy to just forget you need that small key. Like, I've done it.
Yeah, especially if the big key comes early, your small key just doesn't come across your mind at that scenario.
It's just a matter of climbing up Ganon's tower at this point, and then defeating Ganon. Just What a seed. The mental fatigue was real.
Going for the refill room. A really nice room to have in here in GT if you are not comfortable with your hard level.
Yeah, the restock rooms in Ganon's Tower are few and far between, but, you know, they're pretty much full heals and full magic restores. They are 100% worth it. If you're not confident in your ability to do the climb on what you currently have. So, if you didn't know, Lenmolis have to be defeated on every climb. They don't stay dead. So I'm actually impressed with those silver arrowheads. Those are much harder than you just made them look.
Yep, you cannot shoot another silver while the one is in the air, so one miss pretty much ruins the whole cycle.
I'm surprised that room with the wizard isn't the fall room. It's just a pit.
Yeah, if you cast the Ether, then in that room you can see what the floor layout is. If you try to walk straight to the door, you fall. Because that room is actually the C shape you walked through.
So already knows how to handle this torch room. It's like he just did it 5 minutes ago.
And good job not despawning the tower, so no third climb here.
I'm back and forth on if he wants the full health refill. I likes to go for it. And now, Moldorm 2. Same health as before, so...
Getting initiated by Mordor.
I actually find this Moldorm arena easier, though you can definitely get screwed over and just knocked off at the beginning of the fight.
Oh, one more slash and he had it.
Yeah, dashes do the same amount of damage as slashes. So it's still 1 spin plus 1 slash or 3 slashes.
He's using his magic powder very liberally, so he still won't lose magic for Ganon.
He does have a green potion from, I think, Hookshot Cave. I'm pretty sure that hasn't been used yet. Wow, Moldorm is just out for blood. Almost dashes off the edge of the platform. And Moldorm goes down, finally. I guess that Moldorm was just mad that the one in Hera was killed unnecessarily.
So we're off to after one more ring with those mini Hammerstone and bumping spikes, we're going to see the Aga 2.
Hopefully with less blue balls than Aghanim 1.
Getting bullied by mini Hammerstones here.
Entering that door it can go very wrong very fast. So, bug that Aghanim, because why not?
Speaking of blue balls, here's one.
Speaking of why not, so 0, 0, 0, 1. 1. Seven cycles in. Oh, please Aghanim 2. Is this the longest Aghanim 2 fight you've ever seen?
Probably. Usually when people use the net, they also swag it with the net dash, which somehow makes it easier to hit for whatever reason because you're closer.
Please have a fairy. Oh, thank goodness. Then Aghanim dodges. Okay, one more, I think. There we go. If only you could just kill Ganon right there. Alright, so there's a fairy he can get from a tree, but he's just gonna go into the fight with 5 hearts. He doesn't care.
So we're a little close to the 3-hour mark, but next string on this channel, I'll go check the schedule. I think we'll have a little buffer here.
"12 slashes per phase. Phases start when Ganon starts spinning his trident. And then 4 slashes in phase 3, and then 4 silver arrows after. So I don't know how many fairies he has left. None.
But pulls out a red potion out of nowhere.
I guess he did use the green potion at some point too, so his resources are what he has.
So checking the schedule, the next race on this channel is going to be at 1 o'clock, so we have some buffer time here.
Alright. He made it to phase 3. One more slash here. Alright. So we need position for Torch Blitz. Oh no! Oh no! So he had the good fortune to not be moving there. The fire bats knock you back in the opposite direction that you're holding.
Also note that the 3 hours is the restring limit. He can fight this Ganon for as long as he wants, as long as he finishes. Since Goggle for forfeits, Ben will win this race.
He's just got to get 3 more silver arrows. That's 1. So right now he is... No, he does have this green potion still. Alright, 2 more silvers. 1 more, come on. That's Ganon down!
GG.
So, I think we can hopefully get him in here for a bit of an interview about that. Dashes out, finishes at 2:53.23. Cool scene, right?
Oh, totally. I'll see if we can get him in.
I am going to keep an eye on the credits because I want to know what was at the pedestal. Like, that was a big question for a while. Is that going to be the Ether Medallion? The only items not accounted for are a shield, a sword, and an armor. We found everything else. Like, I think we even found every capacity upgrade. Carissa, it actually gets a little bit better than that. The mushroom was found in Palace of Darkness, even though it wasn't marked. The net was found by both runners in Misery Mire. So, bentglasstube actually found every single Y item in the game. Which will obviously be confirmed during the credits scroll. So we're hopefully going to get a BGT in here for a little bit of discussing that. What's the word? That beautiful train wreck. We just couldn't look away.
He doesn't look like he's responding, so we'll just wait until the credits end to see if he wants to come in.
Yeah, we'll be finding out what was actually on that pedestal, because that was a big question for about 2 hours. As soon as that book turned up, it could have been checked, and it just wasn't, and it never had to be. Aw, it was just money. Ganon's Tower hoarding all the items. And
So looks like bentglasstube also has to rush to work, so he's not gonna come in for a written field. So we should probably start wrapping up here.
yeah, you set aside a little over 2 hours for a randomizer, and then you get something like this and spend almost 3. You just don't always have the time.
So to wrap it up, if you want to see more Link to the Past randomizer, there's BGaming 1 through 6 and ALTTP randomizer 1 through 4. We have to thank our race streamer today on BGaming is Fiso. Tracker for today, this match is Space Cowboy, and I'm Plastic.
But I have no name.
And there are over 60 matches today, and the day is just starting. We're still not even past noon yet. So see you on the other channels and other races.
Yeah, if you want to watch Randomizer, there's pretty much 24/7 Randomizer tournament races going on right now. 256 matches a week. We're going to get to see the stats from the credits coming up here. Oh, right, there's the Randomizer Contributors section. I keep forgetting that this is a section. Just want to see the stats. All right, the important stuff. Let's go. So first sword came early. The boots came pretty early as well. They were actually earlier than the 18 minutes suggests because they were in Lost Woods. Blue was Pod, which was, I think it was bow locked by the Mirror, which was an Ice Palace, and the bow was in Swamp. Decently nice with swords this seed. So Small Mercy. 99 bonks, max the counter.
Fourth, the Revivals making good use of the net.
Even though the net came pretty late, last dungeon before Ganon's Tower, he made it count. So yeah, GG's again to bentglasstube. Props to Goggles for trying to stick this one out, even with that imminent class timer hanging over his head. Shame that he just didn't have time to finish it, but, you know, that's life. So I think that's it for this stream, but as mentioned, plenty more Randomizer if that's what you want to see.
Yeah, see you next race.